Felicitous greetings, fellow fanatics.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Adam the Fanatic, and today we're kicking off Mega May by exploring Mega Man's foray into the arcade with Mega Man the Power Battle and Mega Man 2 the Power Fighters, a pair of fighting games by Capcom. Well, sort of. We'll get to that in a moment. First released in October of 1995, Mega Man the Power Battle first made its debut as a standard coin-op arcade game. However, it later made its way to the GameCube and PlayStation 2 via the Mega Man Anniversary Collection, along with its sequel. More recently, it's also been released as part of the Capcom Arcade Stadium Volume 2, which is how we'll be taking a look at it today. Without any further ado, let's dive in! In the Power Battle, you'll take on the role of Mega Man, Proto Man, or Bass. Releasing shortly after Mega Man 7, Power Battle distills Mega Man into its simplest form, reducing the game to a series of boss fights. In semi-traditional Mega Man fashion, you'll still gain weapons from each boss you defeat. After defeating 6 Robot Masters, you'll head to Wily's castle for 2 final foes, culminating in a clash with the Mad Doctor himself, as you've no doubt come to expect by now. Each fight is a one-on-one battle, unless you decide to play with another player, in which case it will be a cooperative game. Sorry, I don't have any footage of that right now. I only have one working PC controller at the moment. So how is this a fighting game? With each fight as a one-on-one battle, it does sort of feel like it, but it really doesn't control like anything else in the genre. Honestly, they do a good job of making it feel like a Mega Man game. You have 3 buttons, one to jump, and as you may expect, you can hold down and press the jump button to slide. Bass has the distinction that he can even dash in mid-air. If you're at the edge of a stage, you can also perform a wall jump to get some extra height. You have another button that shoots, and if you're on your default Buster Gun, then you can hold down the button to prepare a charge shot. Then the final button is used to cycle through your special weapons. The order you fight bosses in is determined in roulette fashion, although you can still choose the order if you time it right. After you defeat a foe, you gain their special weapon, and all future enemies will grow stronger, faster, and sometimes even use more attacks against you. There is still a weakness cycle, but it's not as prominent as it is in the main series. A boss's weakness weapon will stun them and deal extra damage, but beyond the first few stages, you're not going to have enough ammo to defeat them solely with that weapon. Beyond that, weapons seem to have a more normalized effect. A boss's weakness won't be buffed as much as it normally would, and other weapons are actually more viable than you may expect. After defeating an enemy, if you're damaged, you'll regain a quarter of your max health. You only have 1 life, but as an arcade game, you can always continue if you lose. There are 3 routes in the game, with a different selection of enemies you can fight in each one. The first route has enemies from the first 2 Mega Man games, the second route has enemies from Mega Man 3 through 6, and the third route is exclusively focused on the then recent release of Mega Man 7. This includes all 6 Robot Masters, plus the penultimate bosses which bar the way to Wily himself. The fight against Wily is always identical with 2 stages. After you've defeated him, you'll have a bonus stage where he tries to escape, and you have 10 seconds to take out his unarmed capsule. Regardless of which route you play through, the ending of the game will be identical, but each character does have their own ending, and these really don't affect anything. You just get a quick victory scene relevant to the character in question, and that's the end. Naturally, as an arcade title, it's meant to be short. A single run can be completed in less than 5 minutes if you know what you're doing. If you manage a single quarter of the game, it'll not only record your score, but your time as well. Fast forward another year, and Mega Man 8 is released for the PS1. Along with that, a second fighting game releases for arcades, this time known as Mega Man 2 the Power Fighters. The arcade version never made its way to American shores, but it was translated into English for future releases, including GameTap. Remember when I talked about that piece of nostalgia? In Street Fighter-like fashion, the second game feels more like an update to the first rather than an entirely new game. A fair bit of content from the first game is recycled. There are once again 3 routes, each with 6 bosses. This time, each route does have a little bit of a story, and Robot Masters are no longer pulled from a specific set of games. Although it should be noted that all enemies are still from the first 7 titles. No Mega Man 8 bosses appear, despite how obvious it may have been to push it at the time. Nevertheless, out of the 18 Robot Masters in the game, a full half of them are recycled from the previous title. A bit of a disappointment, but it's not all bad news. So what improvements does this game offer over the previous entry? Firstly, you now have Duo as a 4th playable character, the only real representation the game has for Mega Man 8. His dash has a higher profile than the other characters, save Bass's air dash of course, but it also doubles as a weak attack using the spikes on his shoulder. Also, each character now has a unique special attack that they can perform by holding up when releasing a fully charged power shot, and Eddie will sometimes drop a power up. Pick it up as Mega Man or Base, and you'll get Rush or Treble respectively to help you attack your enemies. Pick it up as Proto Man or Duo, and Beat will give you a shield which makes you invincible for a surprisingly decent chunk of time. That aside, it's mostly the same game. However, each character once again has their own ending. Mega Man and Duo's endings are still nothing worth mentioning. There's a couple of surprising revelations in the other endings. Base's ending shows Wily unambiguously working on Zero. Mind you, this was before X4 released, so this was actually the first official confirmation we got of this. And then we have Proto Man's ending, where it's revealed that he has a defect with his energy core. It's implied that he'll explode if it's not repaired. This is probably more plot development than we got in the first 7 Mega Man titles combined. And then Mega Man 9 and 10 never followed up on these at all. Thanks, Capcom. All in all, I see Power Fighters and the Power Battle as more of different versions of a single game rather than distinct entries. I'd compare them more to Pokemon Red and Blue rather than truly see the Power Battle as a sequel. Regardless, as arcade titles are wont to be, they're fun yet very short diversions, and quite easy to pick up and play even if you've never touched another Mega Man title before. In most cases, I'd rather play a real Mega Man game, but if I have just 5 or 10 minutes to kill, they're enjoyable time wasters. In conclusion, I find Mega Man the Power Battle and Mega Man 2 the Power Fighters to be worthy of a solid 7.1 out of 10. If you're interested in playing Mega Man the Power Battle or Mega Man 2 the Power Fighters, the easiest way to do so these days is through the Capcom Arcade Stadium Volume 2, which is available for PC via Steam as well as all major consoles. If you're interested in purchasing or learning more, links are included in the description. But what about you? What do you think of the Power Battle and Power Fighters? What arcade fighting games do you enjoy? If you have any questions, remarks, or opposing points of view, leave them in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell. If you really enjoy my work, please consider funding my channel on Patreon. Until next time, farewell, fellow fanatics. Thank you again for watching. I have plenty more to share with you if you're interested. You can click up here above my head to subscribe to my channel. You can click over here on my monitor to see the most recent video that I've worked on. Or if you prefer, you can click up here to open this mysterious vault and see what video that the YouTube algorithm has picked just for you.